Welcome to the Langley Fine Arts. My name is Yeji, and on behalf of Blue Dog Press, I'm here to ask you some questions.
Love questions. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you for being here. Yeah. So you were born in Smithers, BC, and you grew up in Vancouver?
That's right, yeah.
Yeah. So tell us, what are some of your most prominent childhood memories?
Well, I moved around a lot as a kid. My parents were living in Smithers when I was born, but they moved back to the city by the time I was, 2 years old or something.
Oh.
I lived in Ontario for a number of years and then back to BC, so I kind of bounced around a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I remember being on the ferries. That was like a big deal as a kid. Getting a pirate pack at White Spot.
Yeah, I love the ferries.
But I also had some really Canadian experiences. We lived basically in the woods in Ontario. And there was a creek that ran behind our house, and so that would freeze up and we'd shovel it off and we'd be able to skate. So I feel like I had the two extremes.
Yeah, I mean, where did you come from? A very musical background?
Semi-musical, I would say. I mean, my mom grew up playing piano, and I had an older stepbrother who kind of taught me how to play guitar to begin with. And so there was music in the family. I mean, it wouldn't be out of the ordinary for us every now and then to kind of sit around and sing songs together, which to me felt really normal as a kid. And then as I got older, I kind of realized that not all families do that. So I feel really lucky that music was a part of my childhood, because it wasn't sort of this thing for other people. It wasn't this special, coveted thing. It was just life.
Why did you decide to study at UBC, and were you pretty set on pursuing music at that point in your life?
I don't know. It's funny, actually. I mean, I knew I wanted to do music, and I kind of wanted to not go to school and just do that. And my parents said, that's fine, you can be a musician, you can do whatever you want, but just finish a degree first at UBC. So I did. And at the time I was very begrudging, but they made me realize how lucky I was that I had parents that were willing to pay my tuition.
Wow.
I think post-secondary education really teaches you not about facts, it teaches you about sort of how to question the things that you thought were certain. Teaches you how to think in a different way, and I don't think I would have had the same sort of access to different streams of thought.
Well, I guess besides songwriting, what are some of your hobbies?
Well, these days I feel like I don't have a lot of. I have a 9-month-old baby, so I feel like my hobbies are trying to clean the puke off my sweatshirt before I play a show. And life is crazy right now. But when I can tuck away, I mean, I really like good films. I like to watch movies, books, for sure. I find that I spend a lot of time on tour, and a lot of time with the band, and a lot of time kind of engaged in music and recording and doing different things. So when I can actually just go somewhere to do none of that and to sort of be alone, that's special to me. And especially with a kid, you get less alone time. Yeah. So I cherish that.
So I guess, how do you balance those two between your personal life?
It's a good question.
Your work?
I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know. I'm learning a little bit here. It just changes your schedule. It changes a lot of things. But I think it's weird, because when you're in your 20s, you're not worried about that stuff. Especially if you want to be a musician, if you want to have a career, then all you're focused on is touring and getting out there and trying to write the best music you can and get people to hear it. And then, you kind of start to come to the end of your 20s, and maybe you're with someone, maybe you're not, but you start to think about the long-term life things and all these things that you've kind of been pushing off.
Yeah. And I guess going into more musical career, I see you've received a lot of awards and recognition, and so just to list a few of them. Okay. In 2009 you got the Artist of the Year from Verge Music Awards, and you were nominated iTunes Album of the Year, the singer-songwriter category, and you have 3 Western Canadian Music Awards, not to mention your 2 Juno Awards.
Actually 6 Western Canadian Music Awards.
Wow.
But I'm not counting.
So how has this changed your life or your musical direction?
Well, I think that awards and accolades like that do a really good job of sort of giving people in the world a Coles Notes version of where you're at. You know, if you can say this actor was nominated for an Oscar, well, that just kind of gives the whole world, even if you don't know their name or what the role was or how, if it was good or bad, that sort of says to the world they're recognized in their profession. So the Juno thing or whatever, you know, it really helps for people to kind of categorize you as somebody who is an active professional working artist. But creatively, it's not that it doesn't mean anything at all, but if you let it affect your creative process, it starts to mean too much. I feel like, you know, you must give everything and expect nothing.
Yeah.
Because then anything that comes in is just bonus, gravy.
It's great, yeah. For me, I personally loved your song about as helpful as you can be without being any help at all.
Thank you.
And so I was wondering, what inspired you to write this?
I wanted to write a song with the longest title possible. I don't know. I kind of felt like that song was a little bit of like a, okay, well, here I am. You can burn me if you want. You know, all the sharks. You can eat me if you want. I don't care. You know, I don't care. And you know, maybe that's reading too much into it. But at the same time, on a political level, I feel like that's basically where I'm at, is about as helpful as I can be without being any help at all. I have all these convictions and all these opinions about social structures and politics, and yet I'm making music. Mm-hmm. I'm not, you know, on the front lines as an activist or something. You know, I'm not working as a professor educating people. I'm not doing things that maybe I should be doing.